Howdy guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to recap of night number 5's overnight feeds for Big Brother Season 25, broadcasting the show from beautiful but incredibly hot Cancun, Mexico. Yeah, a long way away from the Big Brother house, but I gotta say, this turf behind me reminds me a lot of the turf in the backyard of the Big Brother house. God, that stuff got brutal in the summertime. Hot out there. Now, the house guests did get to enjoy the turf of their own yesterday because we had the swimsuit shoot. We didn't get to see that on feeds, but they do it every year. And I'm sure y'all are familiar with the pictures, the big group shot of everyone in the backyard. Then they take the individual swimsuit shots and all that. It's a lot of fun getting to do that. It seems like everyone gets to take just a little bit of a break from the stress, the strategy and all that. Get outside and just hang out and feel like you're center of attention as people are pointing the camera at you and everything. Not often Elk Cliff Hog gets someone pointing a camera at me while I'm in a swimsuit and saying, yeah, pose. Yeah, that was a new one for me, but they did do the swimsuit shot, so they got a little bit of a break. I'm not sure they ever stopped talking strategy. I have a feeling, at least Izzy and one or two others, I think they were probably still out there talking even while they were shooting the swim shoots, which if I recall, we're not really supposed to do, but I bet it happened anyway. All right. I'm getting off on a tangent. Let's talk about the official kind of statuses within the house before we talk about conversations and such that took place. Now, as a refresher, first of all, keep in mind Kirsten and Felicia are on the block. They're the two that were left that Riley did not protect, so they are still on the block. The veto winner is Haisam. Haisam could use a veto at the veto ceremony today. He has indicated that he's not going to do it. I don't expect him to, which means we'll still have those two ladies on the block come Thursday. I think it's just almost a complete certainty that Kirsten is going home as a result of that. She's a house target. No one wants to make waves. Everyone likes Felicia, so I think Kirsten's going home. Now, having said that, from a strategy standpoint, just playing devil's advocate a little bit, if you are a member of Riley's alliance, would it not perhaps make some sense to maybe consider keeping Kirsten, who has no connections with either alliance right now? Keep Kirsten, send Felicia out the door, being that Felicia is a core member of Cirie's alliance. Core. That word is being used way too much this season in that house. So I'm using it as well. But wouldn't there be some strategy to maybe sending her out the door, weakening that alliance by one vote, considering that these balances are so balanced right now from a numbers standpoint? It seems like a possibility that you could do that, or as another option, somehow convincing Haisam to use the veto and backdoor someone like Izzy, perhaps, who has really been playing a lot of games so far. It seems like you maybe could consider that as an option. And in fact, late last night, early this morning, we had Jag and Riley talking. They talked a lot. We had Jag and Riley talking, and Jag actually was proposing, saying, we maybe could go in and tell Haisam some kind of story, make up some kind of lie to convince him that Felicia's safe, that he ought to use, or that she's not safe, that he ought to use a veto to pull her off to protect her, and then maybe, we put up Izzy or something and send Izzy out the door. So Jag's thinking. He's considering different options. Riley shut that down fast. Riley said, are you crazy? Are you suicidal? If you do that, the first thing that's going to happen is then I become the big target. They come after me. Haisam never trusts us again, so we completely burn that bridge. She says, we can't do it. We got to make waves. Now, the other thing, too, is she feels, even though Cirie and Felicia aren't part of her alliance, she feels like she's got a connection with them, and we'll talk about that in a moment also. So she doesn't want to do anything to jeopardize that. She doesn't want to make any big waves. She wants to keep everyone all kumbaya-ish and everything, as long as they do what she wants to do. But so I don't think that's going to happen, even though I can see the merit maybe to considering it. But it is early in the season, week number 1. There's something to be said for just letting everything kind of continue to fall out and figure out where everyone's loyalties are. But it would be fun as a viewer if it happened, right? It's going to be a great season. 2 balanced alliances. Hopefully we see some power shifts, that one side doesn't just win all the comps and just knock the other one down. I want to keep these alliances balanced for a while. We'll see. Fingers crossed. But we did we did have that conversation take place, and again, it looks like Kirsten's going to be going home. All right, we had the second episode of Big Brother on CBS. It seems like this show's been playing a lot longer than just now be to the second episode, but we did have that. No huge reveals took place. We did get to see Jared's reaction and then Cirie's reaction to finding out that Izzy knew about the mother-son relationship. She mentions it, God, as soon as they get back inside the house after the live show, immediately comes up to Jared and says, you're Cirie Field's son, aren't you? Well, he grabs her real quick, takes her out, says, keep it to yourself. Please keep it to yourself. Later in the storage room, he walks in. Cirie about has a heart attack because Jared says, hey, Mom, while Izzy's in there. Cirie's like, ugh. But he said, nah, she already knows. She already knows the secret. That knowledge, that information has really helped Izzy because it created, maybe forced a bond between her and Cirie and Jared. That she certainly, she likes knowing that she has that connection with the two. She said before how she'd love to get to Final Three with the two of them. I don't know why, but she has said that. And Cirie had told her that, we owe you everything because you didn't spill the beans. So we got to see that a little bit on the live episode. We also got to see the HOH comp that Riley won to become HOH. As suspected, it was a beam competition, very similar to, I think it was season 23 had a beam competition. Thick beams that are a roundabout route to get to the finish line, thinner beams that go more directly to the route. Some things swinging back and forth that can knock you off the rails. If you get knocked off, you have to start over again. Shortest time to get to the end, one HOH. Riley won it, so congrats to her. It's a cool comp. I would have had fun playing that comp, but we saw that. Now, the other thing I thought was kind of interesting, we did get to see I'll call it the unnomination ceremony. I heard all this stuff about that Corey was all smug and cocky after he got pulled off, and Cirie had called him out later and said, look, you got to tone it down. You got to be more empathetic and all that. I didn't see any of that. Maybe it was the edit. Maybe it took place just a little bit later or something, but I didn't see anything horrible about the way Corey reacted when his name was pulled off and he saw Kirsten and Felicia up there instead, but who knows. I also think that the house is looking at people that they can maybe make a target, any excuse to make someone a target. Maybe that's what they were trying to do at that point in time, because I didn't see anything. But other than that, the episode was fairly straightforward. Next Wednesday, we'll get to see the veto ceremony, I think, and all of that. So there you go. All right. I mentioned the house did the swimsuits yesterday. The fact that we didn't talk a lot of strategy around that time. We were just enjoying the backyard. Of course, there was a huge 8-person alliance in my season, and the rest of us were not aligned, so we were just trying to survive and not make waves. But anyway, they did have that. Izzy used that time right before and after. She's playing the game hard. She was talking about with Jared and Red. Both of them she talked at various times with. And she's talking about the boot order. She's talking about a lot of stuff. She tells them that her preferred boot order for the other side would be to get rid of Corey, to get rid of Riley, then to get rid of Jag, and then to get rid of Blue. She's referred to Corey as a weasel, and she just wants him gone because she doesn't trust him at all. Riley's the ringleader. Jag is the linchpin. She's got a reason for all of them, but she just outright spilled her boot order preference. Now, with Jared, it's probably not the end of the world because she feels very tight with him, and she is, and Jared's not going to spill the beans, I don't think. Although, when you're playing a spy like Jared is right now, who knows? In a normal season, it'd be easy for him to flip back the other way and be giving information. With his mom on this alliance, Izzy's probably okay. Red is another situation. They just brought in Red. We'll talk about that in just a moment. They just brought in Red to their alliance, which is good, and theoretically he can be trusted. But the person who is the lowest on the pecking order, the totem pole of the alliance, to tell him everything is a little dangerous unless you want the other side to know that you've been talking about pecking orders or boot orders and things like that. And I don't think Izzy wants that out there, but she told Red anyway. But so she did do that. But here's what's funny. Corey is Izzy's top target because he's a weasel, according to Izzy. But even though Corey is her top target, Corey doesn't seem to realize that. Corey later was talking to Cirie, and Cirie was continuing to, Izzy has decided that even though Corey's their top target, she also wants to bring him on board to their alliance as an extra vote. So she's kind of trying to get the best of both worlds. Cirie picked up that as well, was talking to Corey, saying, look, Corey, you know you're just a number on the other side, right? That they aren't going to do anything to protect you. You're just there just because they need that extra vote. Well, I kind of think it's on this side of the alliance as well. But Cirie is selling him a little bit on that, and to convince him to switch over. And Corey's talking about how tight he feels, the bond he feels, and everything else. And so it's funny. So Corey's feeling like maybe he could make the transition to this other side, not realizing that Izzy has him as a top target. Cirie is worried about him because he knows so much about her Survivor seasons. Corey's in a tough position. At this point in time, he better just hope that there continue to be bigger targets, that he can just kind of lay low a little bit until things happen just a little bit. One funny thing, and I don't know if this will have any relevance, but just the paranoia that exists in this house. Cirie told Nicole or Mimi at one point that she just thinks Cameron is a cop, that he has that look of a cop. He's not. As far as we know, he's a stay-at-home dad, right? I don't think he's a cop. It certainly hadn't been revealed, and we'd know that if that was the case, but you get paranoid about everything. Cirie's just absolutely convinced he's a cop. You start throwing that out there, and it makes Cameron that much more of a target in the house, I think. So we'll see if that goes anywhere. All right, let's talk about Felicia, one of the two members on the block, two people on the block. She's been decently chill, given that she is on the block. I do think that she feels like she's going to be safe, but she isn't happy to know about Riley's 8-member family-style alliance. I think that's what they're calling the biggest layer is the family style. She's not happy to hear that. She heard it by way of Jared, who's the spy and all that. So Felicia's not happy that the other side has 8 people working against them. She mentioned to Nicole that she wants to start calling out, asking the members of this other alliance, I say, hey, what's the name of y'all's alliance? Kind of force them to tell everyone, get out and open for everyone that they're all part of this alliance and everything else. She thinks that she could force that and create issues and all that. You got to be careful. Felicia may feel very safe, but she is on the block. Do you really want to take the other side and potentially start making them feel uncomfortable, make them feel like they're not wanting to talk to you anymore? She just needs to continue to chill. Let other people create the drama and everything else. She needs to be friendly with everyone and make everyone think that, why would we get rid of Felicia? But she's a little perturbed, and she wants to maybe confront all these people. Not a good idea. Not a good idea at all, I do not believe. All right, we had Hassam and Matt talking about their hearing issues. I did not realize that Hassam also maybe has a little bit of a hearing issue, but they were, I think if I remember, they were out on the hammock in the backyard. And that hammock is so iconic. I loved having conversations out there. Maybe I should have had some conversations out there instead of in the boat room. Maybe I wouldn't have been overheard. But Hassam and Matt are talking about their hearing issues. Hassam went over the correct pronunciation of everyone's names because it's a little bit more difficult for Matt. Trust me, I was paying attention to it, and I'll try to I need to tag that little conversation and keep that in mind as well because he went over kind of how all the different names are pronounced. All right. Talking about alliances a little bit, let's talk about the Cirie's Bye Bye Bees alliance. We've got a new member, and with a new member comes a new name. I'm not sure we really need that or an additional name. Welcome to the Bye Bye Bees alliance, Red. Yeah, Red finally, I guess, stepped across the line and declared a little bit. Now, he's not, I guess, officially a part of the Bye Bye Bees because now they're calling this slightly bigger alliance the Professors. They're going to take them to school, I think, is the idea behind that. And I think the idea is it's a little bit like Riley's side, that you've got different levels, different layers of the alliance. You still have the Bye Bye Bees, which consist of everyone except Red, and then the Professors is this brand new alliance that also includes him as well. They make it way more confusing than they need to, but whatever. So now Red is a member of this new alliance. They also talked about, in addition to Red, maybe trying to bring Corey and Luke over. Again, we've seen Cirie and Izzy both working on Corey. Talking about bringing Corey and Luke over as well so that they would have 9 members I think they said just in case 2 of us are on the block, then we still have 7 voting people and all that. Yeah, but I guess that's true. But if you got 2 people of your alliance on the block, one of them goes home no matter how many people you have to start with, right? There has been some talk about a little bit of a maybe athleticism imbalance, that maybe the youngsters over in Riley's group have a little bit more competition ability than the older group over with Sari and Izzy and Felicia. So they're a little bit worried about that. They're figuring Jared's going to have to help them out, that Haisam is going to certainly be athletic enough that he may be the one that helps them out as well. So we saw a little bit of talk about that. But yeah, they want to bring on Luke and Corey as well. And apparently, Red went right to work after he joined this alliance because Riley has complained to a group multiple times about Red, and I can't remember at this point that Red's kind of I don't remember. The Red just kind of seems like he's working with them a little bit, and that he's challenging people, that he's maybe exposing some of the information that she thinks he has and all that. She's not real happy with Red, which is only going to push Red more towards the other side if it gets back to him. Now, these alliances are so cocky. They're going to learn. It's just, how are they going to learn? Izzy talked about this, the fact that her alliance, hers, Sari's, Felicia's alliance, that they're a little bit older than the other alliance, and she says, we're not going to let the pretty young things own another season, and we're going to be taking the kids to school. Well, we'll see about that, Izzy. I think other people have other ideas, because meanwhile, Riley was talking to Matt, and she's saying that her side's going to be the majority, that these people will do what we tell them to do. We're going to be in the majority. They have no choice. They'll do it. It's so easy. They got it all figured out, right? Just get the majority, and then you just control every game, every week. You control it. They have to do what you say. What a strategy. I can't believe no one figured that out before. Yeah, I was laughing a little bit with some of these conversations. She later told Jag, and this was this early morning conversation just an hour or two ago, she later told Jag that they are going to go down in history of Big Brother, for the HOH forming a final 2 all the way up to final 4, 6, all the way up to final 8, and doing so in the first 3 days. She thinks that this is just going to go down as, forget the brigade, forget the cookout, forget everyone. It's all about the family style alliance. Name every alliance, because they got so many names for them. But yeah, she says they're going down in history. Well, we're in week 1. I think things are going to be a little tougher than Riley potentially imagines. But hey, more power to you for being optimistic. Just be prepared, because it's not that easy, Riley. They've all got it figured out, don't they? All right, I did laugh a lot last night. All right, Riley and Luke talked. Luke asked Riley if she threw the veto, said, you sure as heck look like you threw the veto. Riley complained later to a bunch of her alliance members at HOH room, or I think maybe is talking to Jag, said, I didn't throw it. I was trying hard. I did not throw it. She seems a little irritated that Luke accused her of that. So she certainly was a little upset about that. Riley's giving Luke advice on how to play the game better. She says, you got to be more observant. You've got to know who's on the block. You've got to pay more attention. She said, you've got to have more conversations with people. And he said, like who? And she said, everyone, whoever you want to talk to, but you have to have more conversations. I think at that point he said, well, all right, let's you and I talk game. He's a lot smarter than he's letting on to Riley, or that Riley is thinking he is. She's convinced that he's just oblivious to the game of Big Brother. He's paying attention. He's watching. We're going to see some things change as we go forward. All right, we've got Red, brand new member of the professors. We've got Red and Cameron are talking. Afterwards, Cameron went over, started talking to Blue, who they are both part of Riley's alliance. He basically listed out the members of Sari's alliance. There's no secrets at this point in time. Everyone knows, it seems like, everything, because there's way too many people talking in this house. But Cameron went back, talked to Blue, listed out all of the people in Sari's alliance. It wasn't because Red listed all the members. He hadn't turned betrayer yet. It's just, I think he may have mentioned a little bit some of the core group. There I go again, core. Kind of the inner circle, Cirie and Felicia and Izzy being tied. That may have been mentioned a little bit, but more it was just good insight from Cameron as he talked to Red. And the two of them were just talking, I think, to maintain a relationship, even if they're on opposite sides of the alliance. I think they both realize they may not be at the very top of it. So it's smart to continue to keep as much contact as you can. Who knows? These guys may end up working together at some point. That would be fun. At some point, if these two big alliances, if they start going after the big targets at the top, and then suddenly some of the people a little bit lower in the officer, the pecking order, or whatever, if some of the people lower down gang up together and maybe flip on both the alliances, that makes it interesting as well. But these two are talking a little bit. Red does need to be careful with this conversation, though. Even if he didn't necessarily list out all the members of the alliance and everything, he just got brought into this. If word gets back that he said anything that maybe doesn't help Cirie and her group, they could hold that against him. It could lead to a lot of issues, so he does need to be careful. Now, could Red ever flip for real and become a spy? We've already got Jared helping out Cirie's group. Could Red do the same thing, help out Riley's group? Yeah, that's a possibility. They better be careful what they're telling Red as well. And maybe that's why they've got the professors versus the one person less, bye-bye B's group. Now, here's something just to keep in mind. Kirsten, who probably is going home this week, but Kirsten warned, I think it was Cirie that she talked to. She said, look, Red can't be trusted. You don't want to be giving him too much information. Kirsten has been observant enough, maybe because people are more willing to talk around her because they don't consider her a threat because they're so certain that she's going home. But she had told Cirie Red wasn't to be trusted. Red has already said that he doesn't trust Jared. So there may be some conflicts going forward with that group. I'm real curious to see where this thing goes. All right, we had a conversation between Corey and Hassam. Basically, both of them acknowledging, they were up in the loft upstairs, basically both of them acknowledging that they just haven't really gotten along that well. They haven't had good conversations and all that. Now, Hassam has been on a very anti-Corey rant. I mean, really hardcore wanting Corey out. Here he kind of backs off. They are very polite with each other, I guess is a good way to say it. But basically, they're both acknowledging they haven't just haven't really vibed with each other so far. But Corey does mention to Hassam that he feels tight with Cirie and Izzy and the rest of that alliance, kind of letting it be known that he's willing to look that direction. So he's trying to make some inroads with Hassam. But meanwhile, Hassam was telling Felicia last night that Corey runs his mouth too much, that there is no doubt that he, with all of his knowledge of Survivor, is probably the one pushing to get Cirie out the door in any way possible. So as much as Corey is trying to bend things a little bit with Hassam as he looks at this opportunity with this other alliance, Hassam is having no sight of it at all, it doesn't seem like. All right, we've got, here's another thing, and this is Hassam, I think. He's saying that he believes that Jag is the linchpin in that group, that everyone is connected to Hassam, to a Jag. So Jag certainly needs to be one of the primary targets if they do get control. Hassam also talked about Jared, how important it is that Jared stay loyal to Cirie and their group. Well, I think he will, Hassam, given the relationship that you aren't aware of. But how important it is that Jared stay loyal to appear loyal to Riley's group so they can continue to get intelligence as long as possible. They have agreed that Riley and Jag and Cameron should be targets if their side is, and this is Hassam talking to Felicia. They've agreed that Riley and Jag and Cameron should be the targets if their side wins HOH. They're the biggest threats on Riley's side of the house. All right, we've got lots of conversations between Jag and Riley, as I mentioned. It lasted till 4:45 or so, Big Brother time. As soon as they finished up, then I tried to finish this up and come up and film. God, go to sleep, guys. It should be an easy week. Go to sleep, but they didn't do it. They stayed up late talking. A bit of a moment of self-awareness. Jag tells Riley that their 8 is not a secret anymore to anyone. Well, no. Is that a surprise given how much Riley was willing to tell everyone who her tightest connections were? No, not at all. So yes, they are aware that at this point in time, everyone probably knows about their 8. They also, as Cameron talked before, it also seems that people are pretty certain the other side as well. Kind of fun when you know the who's on your side and who's not on your side, and it all comes down to the HOHs and everything. So we have that conversation. Let's see. Riley believes that Corey and Hassam will backdoor each other next week. They hate each other next week so much that if Corey wins, he's going after Hassam. If Hassam wins, he's going after Corey, which is good for them. Let those two pick each other off and leave the core group leave the core group alone. So she does mention that. Jag, I mentioned before about Jag wanting to maybe play a little more aggressively than Riley. Suggested that backdoor of Izzy, talking about that if they don't do something about Izzy pretty quick, that Izzy is going to raise an army. Well, it's kind of too late. She already kind of has. They think that Izzy will pull in all the people that are not part of Riley's alliance. They apparently don't recognize that it kind of has already happened, that Luke and Corey are the last two pieces that are kind of free agents at this point in time, and Izzy's working on both of them as well. So they're a little bit behind the curve in terms of that particular knowledge. They are worried that Izzy will grab Luke eventually, which, funny they mention that because Izzy just got through having a conversation with Luke, trying to do that very thing. All right, Jag mentioned that he and Riley and Blue and America and Jared, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that all of them have already told Cirie and Felicia that they're good with Felicia and Cirie. So as a result, he's saying we can't really go after those two ladies because we've already said that we're good. It needs to be Matt or Cameron or Corey who go after them instead. So in other words, we're going to let these guys get the blood on their hands, and we'll just feign ignorance and, oh, we were good with you. We wouldn't have done that, Cirie. We wouldn't have done that, Izzy. So that's how they're talking about that. They want the other people to do the dirty work while they stay nice. They play with integrity because they aren't the ones that put Cirie and Felicia up. And we'll see. We'll see how that all works out. We did have another little mention as well. I thought this was interesting. Riley mentions to Jag that she has a secret alliance of her and Jared and Cirie and Felicia. Yeah, that maybe isn't going to go quite the way you think it is, Riley. Those three are working together. You not so much, but she thinks that she and Jared could certainly work with Cirie and Felicia. One of the reasons that she doesn't want Felicia or Cirie to go home because she thinks she's got this inner connection, this secret connection. Oh, you're going to learn so quickly, Riley. You certainly are. Now, here, we're about to wrap up. Let me say this. I've been referring to the Bye Bye Bees as Cirie's alliance because Cirie was such a magnetic personality, charismatic person when she came in. Seems like she's calling the shots, and she still is. But I think there's a new figurehead leading that side of the house, and I think it's Izzy. Izzy really feels comfortable about her position. She really is comfortable taking the lead. I'm calling Izzy the leader in title, right? I think that Cirie is still doing a masterful job. She's calling the shots, but Izzy maybe doesn't realize that completely. Izzy's certainly doing a lot on her own as well. But I'm going to start calling it maybe Izzy's group with Cirie in the background doing the masterful stuff that Cirie tends to do. And I think Cirie's perfectly happy to have that happen. Let Izzy take the lead. Let her be the one that's getting all the attention from the other side. If there's a backdoor, if there's a blind side, if there's anything, if the other side wins HOH, they're going to go after Izzy before they go after Cirie. And as the conversation with Riley and Jag just indicated, that's true. Riley feels like she's tight with Cirie and Felicia. Cirie doesn't want to change that. So, yeah. Welcome to Izzy's group of 8 or 9 people, depending on the day and who you talk to. To finish it off, just a nice little fun thing. We saw Felicia. Well, we didn't see it, but we heard Felicia fall into the hot tub night before last. Apparently, she also is now on microphone number 4 that has fallen into the toilet. Production can't be happy with that. They've been making fun of, apparently, the fact that Felicia just keeps dropping her microphones every time she leans over anything. So, the microphone toll is quickly going up. Hey, Felicia, if she wins this thing, she may not get $750K. They may have to knock out $50K to cover the cost of the microphones or something. But we'll keep a running tally on that because it seems like Felicia is going to have some fun blooper reels as we get through the season. All right, guys, that's it. So the main thing is these two alliances continue to try to solidify their membership, one up each other in terms of numbers and all of that. Thursday, it's going to be huge. Which side wins the HOH is going to create determine a lot of the power structure going forward. So I'm excited for Thursday. Not so much the eviction. I think Kirsten's going home, but that HOH is going to be the most important HOH of the season so far. Guys, y'all have a fantastic Monday. One final thing, please, I should mention this at the beginning as well. Tonight, on the YouTube channel, search for Cliff Hogg, search for Cliff Notes Live. 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central on YouTube. I'll be doing my live show. It's an hour long, open chat. We're going to be talking 99.9% Big Brother, probably 100%. Any questions you got, any comments, opinions you want to offer out, come out, join the show. We're going to have fun talking Big Brother. Guys, y'all have a great Monday. Until tomorrow or until tonight, cheers, my friends. SKD143. Have a great one. Bye.